Hi guys, welcome. We're here at the Tiger waterfront and I've got Jose here. He's a final year medical student.
Hello.
Jose, it's interesting times. How do you guys find it? Do you go to class? Do you go to work? What are you allowed to do and what not?
Definitely. The rules and the game has changed quite a bit now with COVID. So we don't have any contact sessions with each other anymore. Everything's gone virtual as much as possible. But at the same time, we still need to see patients in the hospital. So
yeah, I guess
difficult.
seeing a patient can't be really done virtual. It's one of those things that you actually need to see the client. But also interesting times, and that's why we're also going to have the financial day on virtually, and also that's why we're having this discussion, because I know there's a lot of questions around finance. I mean, you've got so many things to think about.
Yeah.
Now it's a finance part as well.
That as well.
So I think, if you want to, I know there's a couple of questions that's general. Most of you've spoke to most of your classmates, and there's a couple of questions that they want us to answer. So maybe we can cover some of them today, and we can try and add value.
Yeah, I think one of the first things, like if we start at the beginning, everyone feels the sense of definitely get a professional to help you. But then how do you go about choosing who will be helping you?
Okay, so first of all, there's a lot of options out there, and I think you will have a lot of options at your financial day. So a couple of pointers that I would give is, firstly, make sure they are professional.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy when you're a doctor, you have a 6-year qualification, then you are a doctor. In our industry, it works a bit different. You can only have matric and you can be a financial advisor. But there's a certain designation called CFP, Certified Financial Planner. And I would say that's still like the minimum requirement, that when you look for someone, make sure they have the CFP designation, because then you know they studied towards actually and they're serious about what they do. So a CFP designation is to make sure they are professional, they're educated. Then maybe I would recommend someone that's independent, meaning they don't work for a company, one of the insurance companies. Maybe they don't work for a Discovery, Liberty, Momentum, Old Mutual. There's different options. But if they work for PPS, if they work for just one company, they can obviously just give you one option. I mean, it's like a doctor can only describe one sort of medicine. Yeah. So I would say that they are independent and they can give you a variety of options. And I think at the end of the day, it's always someone you trust as well. So when I go and see a doctor, like it's someone that I resonate with, and it's someone that I can really trust going forward. So you might just look for someone that's a bit experienced. You can see the company has been there for a while and that he's got the proper qualification.
So you're looking for kind of that personal relationship.
It's a personal relationship. I mean, you trust the person with your finances going forward. It should be a long-term relationship. So that's something definitely you should find likability in the person as well. I think that's important as well.
That's a good. Thank you for those couple of pointers. Then on the other hand, there are some people in the class that's asking, why should we have financial advisors at all? Is it really such a bad idea to manage your own finances?
Okay, I think a lot of people, and you can actually go do it yourself. But what we found, and with our experiences, first of all, it's to keep people accountable towards their goals. So what we do with clients, we sit with clients and we say, what is your goal? You want to go travel in 2 years' time, you want to save for retirement, you want to invest money towards a specific goal, you're getting married in 5 years' time, now you want to save towards a certain goal. Most people don't have that discipline to keep on track. That's the accountability. The accountability comes in. Also, the advice. I mean, I go to the doctor, I know what I'm feeling, I know what maybe I should, or I think I should know what I need to get better, but I don't really. So it's also the expert advice. But like I said, someone to keep you accountable, and there's someone to be there on this journey with you. You know, someone to bounce ideas off and to save you time as well. You don't want to phone for insurance quotes. Now go for investments, the markets are up and down. You don't know what to do. That's where we come in to say, manage your emotions and coach you along the way as well.
Yeah, that does sound like some good advice. Definitely, I resonate with the being held accountable part. And also, like everyone says, don't Google your symptoms, rather go to the doctor.
Exactly.
Don't try and do it yourself.
Exactly. And maybe another analogy I always use is keeping fit. We all know that we should be active and we should go to the gym, what you should eat. Everybody knows it. You can Google that. How many people really does it, So that's once again where the accountability comes in.
Okay. Then everyone has this kind of feeling of there's just so much information overload. Can you maybe break it down into like as basic terms as possible? What exactly do we really need from the first year of internship already?
Okay, so first of all, just for yourself to set up a budget, I would recommend setting up a budget. We have a nice template which makes it easy, because a lot of people with a budget, they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So just to have a budget, just to know where your money is going. Then for a first year as a doctor, you definitely want some to cover yourself. If something should happen to you in the short term, car accident, critical illness, you want to cover yourself. You studied 6 years to be a doctor, to get an income. So you want to cover yourself, you as a person, and you do that by an income protector. So that will protect your salary. If something happens and you are booked off with a doctor, they will actually pay your salary for you. And also then disability as well. So that covers you as a person. And then from first year doctors, you get quite a big salary compared to normal first year people in the first year working environment. So you want to get used to just putting some money away. We hear a lot of doctors, they say, I'll do it after the first year or after the first couple of months. You know, I just want to have fun with my money first. To get into the habit at a later stage is very difficult. So that's why we also say, make sure you are covered, but then also make sure you get into the habit of investing and saving money, putting it away.
Yeah. I think that comes back to what you said earlier again about discipline as well.
Yes.
And having someone there to help you gain that discipline is quite important.
Yes, and you will see with the budget template, it automates your savings. So we work that in the budget, so you know it's automated. And it's
that's
easier
great.
that way.
And then, so just people are also very worried, like, you know, last year there was quite the issue in some provinces, people who didn't get paid for the first couple of months of internship. What advice could you give those people who have now started trying to plan financial futures, but things didn't work out exactly as they had hoped?
Yes, so exactly. That's why we say, when we look at your salary, and we want to have short-term investments, longer-term investments. That short-term investments are perfectly for things like that. Should you not receive a month or two salary, you know, you want that money to be flexible, you want access to that money. So that will pay your salary, then at a later stage you can just put it back. So have short-term investment for like emergency fund. We see with Corona now that, you know, that's why I have an emergency fund, because a lot of companies don't pay, or they pay only 50% or only 20% of your salary. Then it's good to have a buffer of, say, 3 to 6 months salary. You can access it at any point, and you know it is there for emergencies, like you mentioned just now. So to have that covered as well.
That's great. I think I'm on my last question. Someone asked me, is it not too early to start now thinking of investments and retirements and things?
Early in the year, or meaning from your first year?
Early, like in life. To start now, you know, we're 24, do we really want to plan for 65 now already?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask that, and it's a very good point. So you get different kinds of saving. Like you say, short-term saving, you're never too early to start for short-term saving. I mean, anything can happen next year. And like you say, from a first-year doctor, your salary may not be paid. So there can never be too early a time to start for short-term and medium-term investments. Maybe you want to go travel in 3 years' time or 2 years' time when we're allowed to. Then you want to put money aside, because most people, what do? They use their credit card, but they don't realize the interest they're paying on the credit card. Rather start with a medium-term saving, and when you go on holiday, you have the money available. So the other question is saving for retirement. That's only at 65. So then I can recommend, you know, maybe let's wait till 27, 30. I won't recommend later than 30 because you lose a lot of value. But that is important, but there's other things more important. You know, you still want to live life now. You're still young. There's a lot to do. You want to go travel. Retirement savings is not the top priority, but you, a wealth manager, if you get to 65 and you haven't saved enough, then I haven't done my job. You know, so you want to make sure when you get to 65, you have saved enough for retirement as well. But that you can wait maybe a little bit. You can maybe wait a little bit, but we see sad stories as well. People get to 65, they don't have enough. They have to move in with the children. They have to find another job. It's sad stories. So you don't want to get into that situation.
Don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation. So thanks for your time. Like, I think you've answered a lot of questions, and you've made a lot more people feel at ease, telling us specifically about, you know, having the accountability there, and that it's never too early to start. So I think you've given us a lot more to think about.
Yes, no, definitely. And I think there's so much more that you think about. That's why we have a series of 6 different episodes which go a bit more into detail in each of these points. I mean, we haven't touched on tax with doctors. There's a lot of tax planning that you can do and get back as well. So that's also something that you want to look at, you know. So there's different things, but we don't have a lot of time today is just to touch on a couple of things, but then we can go into more depth. If they want the videos, they can have a look on YouTube. The videos are there. But if you speak to someone in general, just to close off, make sure that's a long-term relationship, and they will go. It's not just a once-off. Here's your insurance, and then they move away. So make sure it's someone that goes with you for the long term, and it's a real plan that they have. But all the best for this next couple of months, and then for the first year of working as well.
Thank you. All the best for you too.
All right, thanks. Thank you. So that was it. Hopefully that clarified some of your questions, but if you have alternative questions, you can look on the YouTube videos as well. Thank you. Thanks,
Oh, that was, I think I built it up in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, so much